Ryan Fitzpatrick of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have had a really good 2 games. Came out. He's on fire. He's hot. He's to me has the second best performance as a quarterback behind the young Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City. Recently, Deshaun Jackson, the speedy big play receiver, has come out and said that even if suspended Jameis Winston come back from suspension, his 3 game suspensions, that Ryan Fitzpatrick should keep the job because he said, rightfully so, why sit down a hot hand? You know, Ryan Fitzpatrick and the Buccaneers are about to face the Pittsburgh Steelers, who got lit up by Patrick Mahomes for 6 touchdown passes, and now the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have become a big play offense that can carve you up with Deshaun Jackson on the outside and Mike Evans, you know, and a pretty good tight end they have. So I can clearly see they can possibly lose the game to Pittsburgh, and Ryan Fitzpatrick can throw like 4 touchdowns again for like 300 or 400 yards. And what if he does that? Do the coaching staff sit him down? Now they have a lot invested in Jameis Winston by him being the #1 overall pick, and usually GMs that pick quarterbacks, especially in football, they pick them that high. They don't want to give up on them so soon because that's a referendum on their decision making. So I don't know. This is a tough call because if Deshaun Jackson is coming out saying that, he's not the only teammate that feels that way. He's just the voice that's coming out and saying it. I believe it's a lot, especially on that offensive side and defensive side of the football, but especially that offensive side of football. It's a lot of players that's saying Ryan Fitzpatrick deserves to stay in there as long as he's playing the way he's playing. I'm not saying he has to, you know, throw 4 touchdowns every game, but as long as he's playing a comparable and they're winning and they're in games, and he's playing well, yes, in my opinion, he should keep the job. It's not his fault that, you know, Jameis Winston can't stay, you know, keep his nose clean off the field. You know what I'm saying, per se. It's not his. He just was sitting there, the bag up, and he got his opportunity, and he capitalized on his opportunity. Because myself, I thought they was going to be 0-3. I thought the Tampa Bay Buccaneers was going to be 0-3 at best, 1-2 when Jameis Winston came back. So Ryan Fitzpatrick has played very, very well along with Deshaun Jackson and Mike Evans and other players on that team that stepped up. And they're rallying behind Fitzpatrick. The fan base has already named him Fitzmagic. And look, Jameis Winston has to understand, man, and a lot of players have to understand, it's the next man up. And the next man up may be the guy that takes your job. The next man up may be the guy that takes your job and the team rally around him and the fan base rally around him. Because as much as the organization and the fan base like Jameis Winston, they like winning. Winning is the ultimate thing in football. If you win, it cures a lot of things. And winning can cause the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to keep Jameis Winston on the bench. You know what I'm saying? As long as Fitzpatrick is playing well. And this was the case with Case Keenum last year for the Vikings. He came in, started playing well, and he just kept going. And he stayed in the game. He stayed in the, it was a week by week basis, but he answered the bell. And Ryan Fitzpatrick has been in the league for a while. He was drafted in 2005, so he's been around the league. He had a lot of bumps and a lot of bruises, and he's been around the block. You know, he's tried and tested, so he understands that this probably is his best chance to snatch the job from Jameis Winston. So, he's going to study, he's going to get in that playbook, he's going to look at film, he's going to stay overtime, he's going to be the last guy to leave, the first guy to get there, the last guy to leave, because this may be his shot to become the Bucs, quarterback from now on. Now, this is Jameis Winston contract year, and that's bad for Jameis Winston because who's going to pay him a lot of money and can't trust him off the field? And he's not really playing a whole lot better on the field. His first year was decent. Second year, he threw 18 interceptions. Jameis Winston has a turnover problem. He had it in college. Even all the success Jameis Winston had in college, he still had high turnover probability. And now it's carried on to the NFL. So it's not like he was lighting it up and the Bucs was losing because the Bucs didn't have good personnel around him. The Bucs have pretty good personnel around him, and Jameis Winston just not answering the bell. And now you got a guy that's a veteran that's been in the league, around the league, you know what I'm saying, multiple times, multiple teams. Now he's coming in, taking the reins, and having the start that he's having. So we'll see, man. We'll see what happens. But I just don't see Ryan Fitzpatrick falling off versus the Pittsburgh Steelers because they can't. Their defense is not what it used to be. It's not the traditional Pittsburgh Steelers like it was in the past. Not even like it was even 5-6 years ago. So you know, Ryan Fitzpatrick got a chance to put up some great numbers versus them. So let's see. And that game is in Tampa Bay, Monday night football. So Ryan Fitzpatrick, if he played well and they win the game, you have all that audience watching that game. You know, people coming out saying, "Man, Ryan Fitzpatrick should hold on to the job." Not only them, the players, the fan base is behind him. So it's gonna be a tough call for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers organization. Let me know what y'all think. Subscribe to the channel, man. I'm out.